You tuned in to the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. More bounce to the ounce, and I say what counts. Don't no one go home till the fat man gets it in. What's happening, chocolate people? Decided to drop some of that good sauce on you on a Tuesday evening. Welcome to the Iceman Show podcast, the Iceman podcast. We do this every Tuesday or Wednesday, and then on Saturdays we do the Player Circle podcast, where we talk about dating and relationships only. But during the week, we talk about social and political issues that affect you here in the Black diaspora. I was going to wait a minute for folks to get into place, to get their face into place. But then I was like, you know what? We need to go ahead and get started. I know people are still getting off work and all that good stuff. Usually people join us after about 5 p.m. So I'm not tripping. You digs? I'm not tripping. So let's get this party started. If you haven't gotten my book, please get it. The Game of Life According to the Iceman, Volume 1. This is my first book. The Game of Life According to the Iceman, Volume 1. You can get this at asktheiceman.com, or you can get this at amazon.com. You get this on Amazon as well. Okay? This is my first book, The Game of Life According to the Iceman, Volume 1. I'm writing my second book, The Dating Bible. I pushed we're going to have to push the release date on that into 2020 because I got too much work. I got too much on my plate right now. I'm trying to finish writing music and all that kind of stuff. It's just too much. I got too much work, man. So I got to get some of this stuff done. And I would rather just take my time and do it the right way instead of throwing something together. Because if I throw something together, then people going to be complaining that I just threw something together. And that's something that ain't the way I do business. I'd rather take too long than to and do it right than to hurry up and put something out and then it's substandard. So I'd rather just take my time, do it the right way, because that's the only way I know how to do it. People have been talking about this bill that was presented by Sheila Jackson Lee, my sorority sister down there in Houston, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. And the bill is HR40. If you haven't heard of it, you can Google it. And that way you're up to speed on what I'm talking about. And basically, because the new black media has been pushing the issue of reparations, tangibles reparations, now you have finally reparations is made it to mainstream, and as we speak, it is a topic of discussion on MSNBC, CNN. I don't know about Fox News. I don't watch Fox News, but I find it very hard to believe if they would be talking about reparations on Fox News, as egregious and foul as they are. You digs? But there's some hashtags for you. Tangible reparations. Oh my God, I did it wrong. Oh God. There it is. We've been talking about tangible reparations 2020 and cut the check. So you need to follow those hashtags, pass those hashtags around, because we want to start a full court press between now and the next 7 to 8 months, or the next year. We want to make sure that we push this issue. You digs? And I want to try to educate you on the hustles that these congressional leaders, namely the congressional black talkers, while we want these people to be talking about reparations, the goal in mind is to actually get them to cut that check, or force them to cut that check. And they're not going to do it willingly. So those of you who think we can march and protest and yell and pray our way to getting reparations, you got another thing coming. Power represents power respects power. Power does not respect weakness, which is the position we're in. And you need to understand that. Rather than getting mad about it, you need to understand it, because we have a habit of not being truthful and honest about our social position in this country. We have to understand something. We are politically, economically, and socially weak. And the only real power we have is withholding our votes in order to get what we want from Congress, Otherwise, we are not voting for Democrats. And if you think that that is not something that will buy us or give us power, then you don't understand. You have no idea that you don't have a full understanding of power and how it works in America. Going to church, praying to a white Jesus ain't gonna fix this. The only way this is going to get fixed is for us to leverage our vote for the presidential election in 2020. We have to leverage that vote, and we have to withhold it if possible, and not vote at all, because we ain't gonna vote for Trump. I'm not voting for Trump, and I know none of you are voting for Trump. So you ask, well, Iceman, what play do we have? We have a major play, because the Democrats can't get anybody elected without us. Yet we're the ones they screw over every other year. Every 2 years, when there's a congressional election or every 4 years when there's a presidential election, here they come around. Hey, I hate black folks. Hey, I like Cardi B. Hey. Hey, I like Tribe Called Quest. Ain't that right? Ain't that right, Fife? Here they go with that nonsense. That's what we get. We don't get anything tangible, but when they go in front of the LGBT community, they got tangibles. Every time you turn around, they trying to introduce some bill to help homos. When they go to in front of the Hispanic community, they got tangibles. Oh, we got this DACA Act. Millions of dollars for DACA recipients to go to college, mainly HBCUs. A lot of people didn't know that. That's why I keep telling black people, every time they pass a bill, there are millions and billions of dollars attached to them. They never pass a bill that doesn't have money attached to it. So if you think that, okay, they about to pass an LGBT bill, or they're about to amend the Civil Rights Act with some LGBT amendment. When they do that, there's money attached to it. Do you really think the gay mafia needs any more money? They already run Hollywood. How many more billions do they need? Look, black people, we got to learn how to play this game to win instead of playing this game to lose. We'll go vote somebody in and then get mad after the fact. We'll get mad that we got nothing in return. All you guys went out here and voted for Obama, and then 8 years later, we still in the same boat we were in before he got elected. And you got some black folks that have the nerve to say, well, if it wasn't for Obama, the economy would still be messed up. Well, the economy is always messed up for us, in case you've been watching. If the economy would have continued to tank, you know what they would have done? They would have went out here and start printing money. Yeah, inflationary fiat currency. They would have started. They would have called Bush would have Obama would have called the mint, and they would have started printing money. They would have had to start bailing out not just the auto industry and the banks, but they would have had to start cutting checks to citizens, because we are the middle class are the ones who keep the economy going. That's why it doesn't make sense why they keep trying to eradicate the middle class. But one of the main reasons why they keep doing it, and while they're trying to eradicate the middle class, is because they're trying to have the same situation they have in Mexico, where you have extremely poor people and then extremely rich people and no middle class. That's what they're trying to pull here, because they can control you a lot easier if everybody's poor. And that's where we're headed. They already talking about there's a recession looming. And I'm going to get into that a little later on in the broadcast. We have another recession coming. Why? Because our economy is not being held up by anything. I want you to think of the economy as a bridge. I used to be, when I was in the military, I was in civil engineering. And one thing, when you build a bridge, it depending on what kind of bridge you building and the distance from one point to the other. Sometimes you have to put the pillars in the ground at certain intervals of the bridge, so the bridge would have a certain amount of support. Follow me here. You don't have to be a civil engineer to understand this. So, depending on how much weight is going across that bridge, you have to have a certain amount of support underneath that bridge. Our economy has no support up under it, because we went away from the gold standard years ago. See, when you have gold to back up your currency, you don't have to worry too much about recession. You don't have to worry about this, which is how our economy goes. You don't have to worry about this every 10 years. Our economy is extremely volatile. And at the end of the day, even if Wall Street flops, the hedge fund managers and Wall Street end up still getting paid, while you and we lose our pensions. We lose everything we own, especially if most of our net worth is wrapped up in 401ks and IRAs and investment accounts. In 2007, 2008, everybody didn't lose their shirt. Only people who, mainly poor people, middle-class people who are overextended already, and people whose finances were on fumes anyway. People who were living off of credit cards. We have another recession looming, people. So we have Sheila Jackson Lee Massarar, who she introduces the bill HR40. And what HR40 is, what they've been touting HR40 as, the reparations bill. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a head fake. It is not a reparations bill. It is a bill to set up a commission, like the Kerner Commission, the Warren Commission, when they murdered JFK, or the 9/11 Commission. That's what that is. It's a bill to set up a commission to look at reparations and why they need to pay it out. Now, I'm going to jump ahead of myself, and I'm just going to pose this question to everybody on Facebook. By the way, everybody on Facebook, hit the like button if you don't mind. Everybody on YouTube, hit the like button. YouTube, this is $5 Donation Tuesday. You can donate via the Cash App, and my Cash App ID is posted there in the chat room, or you can donate via the donate button at asktheiceman.com, my website. Okay, let's go ahead and get it cracking tonight. Here we go with a jackass. Here we go with the jackass. Okay, here we go. Let's get these jackasses out of here. And so it's to, and so you have to be aware of the head fake, because a lot of, you see, they know black folks, they know we seek attention and approval and acceptance from the white status quo. They know this. So any mention that they might be trying to do right by us, we get happy and get tickled to death and start running around talking about, oh, they hear what we saying, man. Hey, Ice, man, they listening to us. No. Oh, they're listening. But this is a head fake. Again, HR40 is a bill to set aside $12 million to set up a commission, and get this: the Speaker of the House, or the Speaker pro tem, has to choose the commission representatives, whether they be senators or congressional members or outside people who are chosen to sit on that commission. And if those, and also the president has to sign off on the commission. The president has to be an integral part of that commission process. And just like we've found out with all the commissions that have ever been enacted, nothing ever came out of them. That's why you have to see this for what it is. Nothing. It's a smoke screen. It's a head fake. You know how I used to be in the street playing touch football or playing tackle football? You did a head fake when we were kids. That's what this is. That's what HR40 is, a head fake and an insult to black people, especially ADOS black people. Don't let these people fool you, because that's what they want to do. It's another head fake. And just because a black person is sponsoring this bill means absolutely nothing. And if you read the fine print of the bill, all it does is provide congressional members with a chance to make some extra money, being paid at the GS-18 rate, which is what they are paid at for their $174,000 a year salary. Don't let these people fool you, because that's what they're trying to do. Whenever they look, black people, let me say something to you. Commissions don't pay money. Do you really think that we need a commission to study something that we know happened and continues to happen? Huh? Do we really? Because see, what's going to happen is they're going to take that $12 million and they're going to get all these lazy college professors, and they're going to get all these folks together, all these academics, these lazy academics, and they're going to sit around and they're going to say, okay, this happened from 16 such and such to 1865. But see, that's just the tip of the iceberg, because what about what we suffered through Jim Crow? What about Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma? What about Rosewood in Florida and all the other Tulsas and Rosewoods that happen all around this country, where black men and women built small societies for themselves and set up their own economy, only to have racist interests come in and murder and destroy the whole thing, as well as with the Freedmen's Bank. The Freedmen's Bank, former slaves put their money in this bank, and during Reconstruction, they just defaulted and took them people's money. So the defendants of the descendants whose ancestors got robbed of their money and they had to start over, they got to pay for that. They got to pay for all these years of black people being economically deprived to this day. We got to pay. They got to pay. And if we don't make them pay, that's our fault. That's our fault. See, the problem with black folks is most of us live in fear. Fear of reprisal. 99.9% of you may agree with what I'm talking about in private, inside your own head, but you ain't gonna talk about this in public around your white coworkers. You're not gonna do that. out of fear. And because we have put ourselves in a position where we have to be fed by somebody else, we work at corporations that are not owned by us. We work for government agencies that are not controlled by us. Therefore, you live in fear. You live in fear of being of losing your job, because most of us live beyond our means. So if we lose our jobs, most of y'all gonna lose your homes, those new cars you driving. Your credit cards are gonna go into default because you can't pay. You already can't pay them. You paying minimum payments every month, just trying to stay above water. So we are constantly living in fear. But then you get a lot of black folks, they get mad at me because I point this stuff out. They be like, Ice, well, everybody ain't as strong as you. Well, let me just say this to you, brother. I've lost everything several times in life. Several times, not once, several times. And I got it all back. And every time I made a comeback, I came back more stronger than I did the last time. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the dog in the fight. It's about the fight in the dog. You can drop me anywhere in America and I'll thrive. Why? Because of what's in here and what's in here. I've always been an independent thinker, and that has saved my life more than one occasion. The problem with most of us is we are codependent on Caucasian society. 10 times out of 10, your boss is white. And that's not by accident. We don't depend on each other. If today black folks say, you know what, half of us gonna go out here and half of us are gonna start black businesses, and the other half of us are gonna support those black businesses. Do you know we solve all our economic problems? And as a result of that, we not only do we solve our economic problems, we solve our political problems and we solve our social problems, because power respects power. We will be seen as powerful instead of being 90-pound weaklings. Black women complain about black women's physicality not being respected in the media. Well, start your own media. Robert Johnson went out here and started BET and then turned around and sold it right back to the same people he started BET for. Does that make sense to you? What he should have done was leverage BET to start other black entertainment channels. That's what I would have done. That's what I would have done. He showed us how much he respected us. He sold BET back to the very people that made him start BET in the first place. Now look at BET. Yeah, they got some of the stuff on there is not bad. Ain't bad programming, but most of it's garbage. Most of it is most of the people they cater to are black single moms that live in the hood and Ray Rays and Pookies. That's who BET is set up for now. There is no intelligent programming at all on BET like there used to be. 106 in Park. I mean, not 106 in Park, but Teen Summit. I wasn't even a teenager and I used to watch Teen Summit because they talked about substantive issues on there. There wasn't no cooning. There wasn't a bunch of old ghetto entertainment. They didn't get down like that. If you're tired of how they treat us, we need to have our own thing popping then. Because we ain't gonna never get respected until we build our own thing. We ain't gonna never be able to get around it, black folks. But the debt that America owes us must be paid. And what I'm trying to help do is make sure they cut that check while you and I can still enjoy it and be able to take those resources and flip them. We got a bunch of idiots on here. We got some trolls in the house, so I'm taking care of that just in case y'all wonder why I'm quiet. But HR40 is another head fake. Understand that, you know, the Joy Reids, and anytime you see these people on these shows, like they got this in Cobra dude, this dude, he wears the same yellow shirt. He has the same salt and pepper dreads. And this guy had the nerve. Whenever you see black folks doing the Wakanda salute, you know they're clowns. You know they're clowns. Okay? We up here talking about serious business, and you got black folks up here on national worldwide television doing the Wakanda salute. HR40 is a head fake. That's a waste of your time and my time. And Sheila Jackson Lee ought to be ashamed of herself. Those of you who live in her district, her congressional district in Houston, you should call up there and be like, look, why are you wasting our time with this HR40 bill? First of all, it ain't going to get out of committee anyway. And even if it does, it's a waste of time. What's it good for? Absolutely nothing. Black folks, we got to get out of the wasting time business, because that's what a lot. See, you have to understand something. It's the new black media who have presented tangible reparations as a leverage in exchange for our vote in 2020. And you got people like Joy Reid. I mean, not Joy Reid. You got people like, who's this person? I'm trying to remember that person's name. You got people like this Mammy. She's a writer she's a journalist. She's usually in the press corps at the White House. Not April Ryan, but the other light-skinned, overweight black woman that be sitting next to her. Her last name was Alcindor. She's a Mammy. She had the nerve to get on Joy Reid's show and said that the reason why we're talking about reparations is because of her and some other black folks. And then I was listening to Reverend Al Sharpton's show the other day, and he had the nerve to say that National Action Network has been talking about reparations for the last 30 years. Look, let me explain something to you. Reverend Al hasn't done anything, and he never will do anything. The Urban League has never done anything. You understand me? These people are trying to take credit for something for us putting reparations on the table, because they didn't do it. Anytime let me explain something to you. If reparations was dispersed, let's just say cash was allocated, people like the National Action, Reverend Al Sharpton's National Action Network and Rainbow Coalition and all these so-called civil rights retreads, all of them will be like, look, massa, cut the check to us, and we'll be the ones that go out here and make sure that black folks get these resources. Let me explain something to you. Reverend Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and Mark Muriel and my frat brother and some of these other guys are all for themselves. Ain't none of them about the business of all of us. You understand me? If you think if America's gonna cut a check, you think I'm gonna sit up here and expect I'm gonna sit around and wait for Al Sharpton to cut me a check for something? You really think so? Do you really think so? It's never going to happen, people. These so-called civil rights Negroes like John Lewis and some of these other folks, they only looking out for themselves. And if you haven't figured that out by now, I don't know what else to tell you. But these people are not going to help us. As a matter of fact, they're working against us. If reparations are dispersed, we will have to push for the Department of Treasury to handle the fiduciary part of that, as far as dealing with currency. And other government level agencies like Department of Commerce, we have to have them take care of that. Not have private nonprofits like Rainbow Push Coalition and the National Action Network. We you know, I'm not going to sit up there and deal with the Urban League. I'm not dealing with the NAACP. These organizations have done and will continue to do nothing. All these black folks do is get rich off of our suffering while we get nothing. They eat while we starve. You want more of that? Keep supporting people like Al Sharpton, who are only looking out for self. I'm tired of seeing black reverends popping up all over the place trying to act like they about the business of taking care of black folks when they ain't doing nothing but making money off of us. Al Sharpton's on MSNBC because he does nothing for his people. Do you really think if he was gangster with it and he was actually doing something to help his people, do you really think Al Sharpton would be on TV? Huh? Do you really think Al Sharpton would be on TV if he was about that life? I'll wait. Exactly, JJ. Exactly, cuz. Cut that check to me. Cut that check to you. That's why I say if it's a fiduciary situation, as far as dispersing cash allocation, the Department of Treasury can handle that. We don't need no National Action Network handling that. We don't need the Urban League to take care of that. But you have to understand those types of Negroes are the ones that are the ones that are put on TV to represent us or to represent our interests, and they do not represent our interests. If you go to Google right now, Google video of Al Sharpton trying to in drug buy. And it's a known fact that Al Sharpton has been an FBI informant for years. I don't know how he's still alive. And he was snitching on black people. Let me tell you something. If Al Sharpton was honest, he wouldn't have been an FBI informant and he wouldn't be on TV. Do you really think they would put me on TV talking the way I talk? No. And you know it. That's why you tune in to the Iceman Show podcast on a weekly basis, because you want to hear the truth. Because you tired of getting lied to. Because that's all you going to get on AM Joy. That's what all you going to get on CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox News. All you going to get is lies. Now, some of y'all probably like lies. Hey, where's Monstar 86? You talking about on PayPal? Ain't nothing wrong with PayPal, man. I got PayPal open right now. Well, just hit me on the Cash App then. Exactly. Bar S. They ain't making chicken franks tonight. See, anytime we start talking, we start dropping that sauce, you notice the trolls come out. Okay? Apparently, AutoZone and Walmart let them out early today. The mayonnaise militia. But these people keep running these hustles on us, and we keep falling for it. The reason why Al Sharpton could be an FBI informant and be on video trying to buy cocaine from an FBI agent, an undercover FBI agent, is because we have no standards. Black society has no standards, and we have a short memory. And a lot of us don't do any research. So they give credit to individuals like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson because they know they can always pull the plug on them anytime they get ready. And plus, they're not going to give you any real information anyway. All they're going to do is blow smoke up your behind. And they know that. So they don't have a problem with putting Al Sharpton on TV. They know he don't represent you. We want a bill that is a tangible reparations bill, an actual bill that states that ADOS blacks are to get reparations in these different forms of reparations. We don't want scholarships. We don't want tax breaks. We want cash. Cut the check. We don't want to hear about John Lewis getting his head whooped in Selma anymore. Cut the check. Put that hashtag in the chat room. Put that on your Facebook page. Exactly, Magic Matrix. Black people believe in Jesus more than they do themselves. That's why we can't get nothing done. Because you have too many black folks that are undermining everything you do. They'll grin in your face and then go behind your back and make sure nothing works. How I know? Because I got them kind of people in my immediate family who are all about themselves. All they care about, all they've ever cared about was themselves. But they'll come on Facebook or they'll come to the family reunion and try to make you think, oh, hey, look at me. Look at me. Look what all I've done. And they ain't done nothing. But a lot of y'all believe it because you don't know any better. You can't, you don't know how to go and do your research. But if you holler at me, I tell you the truth. I'll tell you the real deal. Have y'all noticed that Oprah is the go-to mammy whenever the powers that be want to crap on particularly black men? Have y'all noticed that? Have y'all noticed that? So basically, Oprah is the billion-dollar mammy. See, black folks, Oprah's a prime example of what I mean by a powerless black person. See, we all look at Oprah and we say, wow, Oprah's worth $2 billion. She's powerful. Really? Oprah takes orders, mainly from homosexual white men, but also heterosexual white men. If you think Oprah is large and in charge, check the bank accounts of the white men who tell her what to do. Nobody has spread more propaganda in the black community than Oprah. Oprah's the one that promoted that black men on the down low nonsense. Oprah has been behind a lot of tomfoolery. A lot. Don't let her fool you. They tell Oprah what to do. And yes, she's worth $2 billion. It don't matter how much money you got. Black people are powerless in America. Look at Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby worth over $400 million and he's sitting in prison. For what? People talk about, well, you got no good black women talking about, well, he drug women and raped them. Says whom? Let me ask you a question, black women. If you're sitting across from me right now, and I got Quaaludes like Bill Cosby had, and we got alcoholic beverages sitting between us. If I say to you, take this, and you say, and you ask me, well, what's that? What's that, Iceman? And I say to you, oh, this is Quaaludes. This will make you feel good. If I give it to you and you take it, and then we get bucket nakeds, and I beat that thing up, did I drug you and rape you? Come on now, let's be honest. Did I drug you and rape you? If you don't know the answer to that, I'll wait. Bill Cosby ain't drugged nobody and he ain't raped nobody. But it doesn't matter. In America, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be guilty of anything if you're a black man, do you? We all know that, because how many black women, how many of your sons done came home talking about the police pulled them over for no reason in your car? Huh? How many of your nephews, your cousins, your brothers, your daddies been pulled over by Caucasian police officers for no reason whatsoever? They don't need you don't have to be guilty of anything. Just be black. That's all you need. If you want to be mistreated in America, just be black. That's why we need reparations. And we need to have a protected designation like the Native Americans had. We need to be a protected class of people because of that kind of harassment, if not outright lynching and murdering of black men, women, and children at the hands of Caucasian citizens. We need a protected class designation. That has to be part of the reparations tangibles. Not some loopy general civil rights bill that doesn't say anything about black people. You go and look up the Civil Rights Act. There's nothing in it that specifically deals with black people. Nothing. We need legislation that says this is for ADOS blacks. And if you think that putting pressure on the Democratic Party is not power enough, do you know what kind of position that you have to understand something. You got the left wing, which is Democrats, and you have the right wing, which is the Republicans. But both wings are on the same bird. You understand me? So if you knock one wing off and there's just one other wing, what you think's going to happen to that bird? That bird ain't going to be able to fly now, is he? Y'all see where I'm going with this? That's the power you have when you withhold your vote the way black men did in the 2016 election and in that last election that went down in November of last year. Black men sat out. Every election we have, less and less black men vote. Why? Because we know the difference between real change and a bunch of nonsense. You got brothers out here can't find jobs because they hiring Sancho and Maria and them and Juan and them in your place. And you sitting up there like a dummy talking about we need immigration reform. You dummy. Why would you want more people to come over here and replace you and continue to drive up black unemployment rates? These corporations will hire everybody else except for black men. They'll hire Asians, they'll hire Hispanics, and then they'll hire black women. And that's it. Unemployment amongst black men in this country is somewhere around 65%. Unemployment amongst black women is somewhere between 35 and 45%. But it's still high. And unemployment amongst black teenagers is somewhere around 70%. You know why? Because Juan and Maria and Sancho and them 60 and 70 years old working at Burger King and Wendy's instead of your 17-year-old son messing up the food. Whenever I go in some of these fast food places and I see all them illegals working in there, I walk right back out because I know the food is going to be garbage. That's why half the restaurants in San Antonio, I don't even eat at. Most of them, they can't even get their own food. They can't even get their own food right. I used to go to El Pollo Loco in San Antonio, and they messed that up. They can't even get their own food right. We had a little glitch there. Facebook, if we have a poor connection and you can no longer hear and see me, say something in the chat room so that I know what's going on so I can restart the show. Because sometimes what Facebook and YouTube will do, if you're talking about a deep subject, what they'll do is kick you off and try to act like it was an accident. Appreciate it, Monstar 86. Hey, Monstar 86, I'm gonna make you a mod. I need you to oh, wait a minute, you're a mod already. Looks like you're a mod already. Hey, Monstar 86, you want to be a moderator? Wait a minute, you're a moderator already. T Mason 995, you want to be a moderator? Because I don't see brown sausage in here yet. So yeah. So let me make let me see something here. Let me make you a mod, bruh. Because I gotta be. These guys are interrupting the show. Appreciate it. Hey, guys, if you haven't donated, go to asktheiceman.com, scroll down to the donate button, or donate your $5 to, we're just asking for $5. Your $5 is a 100% tax deductible donation. You can donate via the free Cash App. Okay. Let's try to raise $50 tonight. But Oprah is not our friend. Oprah is one of these black folks who kisses a lot of white booty. Okay? Every time you see Oprah on TV, she's hugging on some white man. If you notice that. Just because, like they say, all skin folk ain't kin folk. But Oprah is a $1 billion mammy. She is a $1 billion Aunt Jemima. But black men, we've been sitting these elections out. See, you have to understand something. Whenever you hear the Roland Martins and the Reverend Al's complaining about black folks not voting, as a whole, black folks are voting less and less with every election. But black men votes have really fell off. The Democrats can't get anybody in office without us. Yet they treat us like a side piece. They treat us like a side piece, and we tolerate it because we don't know any better. We know better. We know better. We're just weak. We know better. We just love being powerless. And look where it's getting us. But people like Oprah ain't got no power. But she wants you to believe she does. I saw Oprah on I was looking at CNBC this morning before I left the house, and had Oprah on there just kissing butt on talking about that Apple TV. That Apple Arcade, that new service that they're offering, which is going to probably be garbage. Sorry, I'm gonna stick with Amazon. I'm only tolerating cable for a few more months. And once I go get this bigger place, I'm getting a Fire Stick and I'm getting Amazon Prime again. And I'm just gonna get internet, and that's it. I don't want no more services. I ain't dealing with no more cable companies other than internet. I have to have the internet because I work out of the house. But I don't have to have cable TV because I'm sick and tired of calling the cable man about their box not working. I'm tired of it. But sometimes you got to get sick and tired of being sick and tired before you get up and do something. I know I've been talking to people, and my listeners been on me about cable TV for years. They're like, Ice, why you still got cable? I'm like, oh, come on, man. You in the dark ages, brother. Okay. Like, man, don't nobody rock with cable no more. They either got the Fire Stick or they got Hulu. When Hulu, see, the reason why I didn't get Hulu before was because it was right before they start. They offered live sports and live TV show. That's why I didn't get it. I got Hulu on my Blu-ray player. But because I can't sit there and look at Netflix all day. I got to look at some live TV, man. I can't, it's stuff I want to watch. Can't watch no college football on Netflix. Wanted to give you guys a quick update on the college admission scandal. A lot of these Caucasian folks are trying to clown or trying to shame Dr. Dre for clowning these admission clowns on Twitter. And what he did, he said, "See, this is my daughter's acceptance letter into USC, and she didn't have to cheat to get in." So now you got all these Caucasian people on these on CNN and all these channels talking about Dr. Dre's being disrespectful. Dr. Dre is darn near a billionaire. He ain't got to kiss your butt. He ain't got to kiss your butt. Talking about, well, he donated $35 million to USC. Donated. He didn't bribe nobody. Those people, those 750 plus people bribed somebody. You got college coaches, volleyball coaches, soccer coaches. There's some soccer coach from Wake Forest University on TV in court. They done charged him with multiple felonies. Bank fraud, wire fraud. Dr. Dre ain't bribed nobody. And his daughter actually applied. Well, you can say what you want to say. That's legal. There's a big difference between illegal and legal. Those folks did something criminal and illegal. He did something legal. There's a difference. But you have to understand something. These people have been cheating like this since day one. They just got caught this time. And the only reason they got caught is because the informant, the snitch, the FBI was investigating him for something. He was on his way to prison. And he said, hold up, wait a minute. I got some dirt for you. And the FBI was like, well, what you got? He said, well, I got all these people bribing coaches and different individuals at these universities to get they dumb kids into school. And they said, okay, tell us more. That's how that came to be. The FBI ain't investigating these people because it's the right thing to do. They're investigating these people because it was handed to them on a silver platter. This guy's trying to save his own butt. Don't get it twisted. He ain't doing it out the kindness of his heart. And the FBI ain't investigating because it's the right thing to do. A bribe and a donation ain't the same thing, dude. I tell you what. Let me tell you what you should do. Let me tell you what you should do, Magic Matrix, since you're trying to be cute. I tell you what, why don't you do this? Why don't you go to the university near you and go in there and say, I'm looking to bribe somebody to get so I can get somebody in the school and see what happens. Okay? Versus you going in there saying, I want to donate some money to the school and see how close to jail you gonna get for trying to bribe somebody. A bribe and a donation is not the same thing. Always got Mr. Funny Draws in the place. That's why we can't get nothing done, because we got black men who ain't serious about nothing other than chasing women. Want to know why black women ain't got nobody they can count on? It's because of black men like you. Always playing. Lynn Swan, who is the athletic director at USC, they're trying to make him the fall guy. And we know why they're trying to do that. They're trying to do that because he is a black man. So they're trying to sit up here and clown him. They're trying to make him the fall guy. They're trying to say that Lynn Swan, as athletic director of USC Sports, they trying to say he knew about them bribing these folks, these coaches at USC. He was like, look, I ain't know nothing about it. And you see, he fired the assistant athletic director that worked under him. He got rid of her. She took over $1 million in bribes. He got rid of her. What more do you want him to do? He got rid of the cancer. Had this been a bunch of black folks, and this would have been a bunch of HBCUs involved, they would have shut up. They would have, not only would they have tried to put everybody in prison, because I'm going to tell you right now, Felicity Huffman and Laura Loughlin and all these other upper class Caucasian people, ain't none of them going to do a day in jail. They ain't going to get any prison time. They'll get probation. They'll get a felony on their record, but is it really going to matter? I don't think it matters that much when you're a multi-millionaire having a felony on your record. Doesn't matter. You digs? Doesn't matter. They would have shut all them HBCUs down if this was all black folks in HBCUs. everybody would be going to jail. But because these are Caucasians, nobody's going to prison. Believe that. You digs? Nobody's going to jail. Nobody's going to jail, dude. But we have the Democratic Party in the palm of our hands right now. And if we run this thing the way it needs to be run, we can get everything we want. And we all don't have to agree. But we do have to agree on economics. We don't have to all agree politically. But we have to agree economically. What's in the best interest of Black people going forward? And that's something you shouldn't be fighting me on. Because a lot of Black folks, especially on Facebook, a lot of y'all fight me on a lot of stuff because you don't want to hear the truth. You don't want to hear the truth. You don't want the smoke. Oh, you could, long as I'm talking about the Bible, or I'm talking about the Queen James Bible, or I'm sitting up here talking about fictitious white Jesus, you all ears. If I talk about church, you all ears. But let us talk about getting out of economic bondage. All of a sudden, you like, oh man, I got something else to do. Because you ain't used to having any power. You think voting is power. It's not. Not unless you leverage it. Got all these Black women talking about, well, the Democratic Party is now courting us and now we have a seat at the table. What good is it to have a seat at the table and they won't serve you? Huh? What good is that? What good is having a seat at the table and you are the table? Everybody's eating off your back. Every group that comes to America, whether it's from Latin America, everybody comes over here, and in 3 to 5 years, they're living better than you are. And you got a college degree. You want a seat? How you gonna have a seat at the table when you are the table? You are the table. This is you. And everybody's eating off your back. How's that make? See, Black people don't want to hear the truth. Do you really want that smoke tonight? Because I'm going to give you that smoke. You are the table, Black woman. You are the table, Black man. They ain't doing nothing but clowning us. That's why I tell people, I say this all the time. I don't vote because there's nothing to vote for. Now, I have voted on initiatives in my respective state that affect me. I don't think the police should be able to just come in my house and take my guns just because somebody down the street said I be acting crazy. Just because I yelled at somebody, you think you can go down to the police station and tell them I'm acting crazy. So here they go coming over here taking my guns. I don't see, you have to be careful, people. Because in this country, they'll say one thing. They'll say, oh, the Second Amendment gives everybody the right to bear arms. But then there's there's exceptions. And some states supersede that Second Amendment. Anybody can stand up and say something, and then next thing you know, here come the police coming up and running up in your house. All right now. Know who you dealing with. Ain't nothing in black and white. Ain't nothing as simple as that. Dude, your question was dumb. And that's why you got timed out. Look, I'm going to take a quick break. Facebook, YouTube, we looking, only one person's donated, and that person donated on the Cash App. We need to get this popping tonight. All right, let's stop playing games. You know this is $5 donation Tuesday. Let's get that cracking. Let's stop playing. Hit me on the Cash App, or you can go to asktheiceman.com and scroll down to the donate button and get it cracking. Let's get it cracking, man. Let's stop playing. You got money for video games. You got $5 to donate. I ain't asking for your whole paycheck. Quit playing. Be back here. You're tuned into the Iceman Show podcast. I'm going to take a quick break. Keep it locked right here on the Iceman Show podcast. We're back. I see you guys. I see you two playing them games tonight. Looks like we're gonna have to wrap things up early. Okay. I tell you what. Saturday is the Player Circle podcast. We're going on the air at 2 p.m. Pacific time. The topic for the show on Saturday will be do other races of men want black women? And then also we'll be talking about why women are not attracted to you. We're going to talk about those two subjects on Saturday on the Player Circle podcast, where we talk about dating and relationships from a black point of view. You can join us. Feel free to join us. And what you need to do so that you don't get left out, because we're just going to be on YouTube on Saturday. So you can subscribe. I suggest you subscribe to my channel, the Mad Voodoo Man channel. That way you get an email notification. You digs? That's how we doing it. So if you want to have your face in the place, let's get it cracking. You digs? Don't meet me there, beat me there. You digs?